Revelation. Out of the throne proceeded lightnings, thundering, and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which signify and represent the complete plan of Yahweh. In the midst of the throne and surrounding the throne were 4 living creatures full of eyes before and behind. I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back, sealed with 7 seals.
Fall on us, and protect us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who will be able to stand?
I saw the 7 Malachim who stood before Yahweh, and to each of them were given a trumpet. The following takes place between 8:30 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. The 7 Malachim who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first Malach sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. A third part of the trees was burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Then the second Malach sounded, and a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. A third of the sea became blood, a third of the creatures which were in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. Next, the third Malach sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven like a lamp. It fell upon a third of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. The name of the star is called wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many died of the waters because they were made bitter. When the fourth Malach sounded, a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened, and the day did not shine for a third part, and likewise the night. I heard a Malach flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice,
"Woe! Woe! Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the other blasts of the trumpet of the 3 Malachim who are about to sound."
The fifth Malach sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. He opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. The sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. There came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. It was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, nor any tree, but only those who do not have the seal of Yahweh in their foreheads. It was granted to them that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. In those days, they will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, but death will flee from them. The shapes of the locusts were similar to horses prepared for battle. On their heads were crowns like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like the hair of women, and their teeth were like the teeth of lions. They had breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots with many horses running to battle. They had tails similar to scorpions, and there were stings in their tails. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. They had a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit, Abaddon. 1 woe is past. Behold, there come 2 more woes after this. When the 6th Malach sounded, I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh, saying to the 6th Malach, which had the trumpet,
"Loose the 4 angels who are bound in the great river Euphrates."
And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day, and a month and a year, in order to slay the third part of the population of the world. The number of the army of the horsemen was 200 million, for I heard the number of them. I saw the horses and those who sat upon them like this. They had breastplates of fire, jacinth, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. Out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. By these 3 were the third part of the population of the world killed, by the fire, smoke, and brimstone which issued out of their mouths, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Their tails were similar to serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Those who survived these plagues did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship idols of gold, silver, brass, stone, and of wood which can neither see, hear, nor walk. Neither did they repent of their murders, sorceries, fornication, nor of their thefts. I saw another mighty Malach come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. His face shone as if it were the sun. His feet were as pillars of fire. He had a little book open in his hand when he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot on the earth. Then he cried with a loud voice as when a lion roars. When he did, 7 thunders uttered their voices. Afterward, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from heaven saying to me,
Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and do not write them.
The Malach which I saw standing upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven and vowed by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are in it, who created the earth and the things that are in it, and who created the sea and the things which are in it, that there should be time no longer. But in the days of the voice of the 7th Malach, when she will begin to sound, the great secret of Yahweh would be finished as he declared to the prophets. The voice which I heard from heaven spoke to me again, saying,
Go, take the little book which is opened in the hand of the Malach, who stands upon the sea and upon the earth.
So I went to the Malach and said to him, Give me the little book. And he said to me,
Take it and eat it up, and it will make your stomach bitter, but it will be sweet as honey in your mouth.
I took the little book out of the Malach's hand and ate it up. It was sweet as honey in my mouth. But as soon as I had eaten it, my stomach became bitter. Then he said to me,
You must prophesy again before many peoples, nations, languages, and kings to come.
And there was given me a reed like a measuring rod. And the Malach stood, saying,
Rise and measure the temple of Yahweh, the altar, and its confines where they worship within. But the court which is outside the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given to the Gentiles. And the holy city they will tread underfoot 3½ years. I will give power to my 2 witnesses to perform their prophetic offices, and they will foretell events for the 3½ years dressed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before Yahweh. And if any man will hurt them, the word of Yahweh, like a 2-edged sword of fire, proceeds out of the mouth and devours their enemies, and if any man hurts them, in this manner it is binding for him to be destroyed. These hold Yahweh's authority to shut the heaven, in order that rainfall does not rain the days of their prediction, and Yahweh's authority they have over the waters, to turn them into blood, and to strike the earth with every plague, as often as they should will. Once they have finished fulfilling the prophecy written about them, completely performing their testimony concerning future events, the beast which ascends out of the abyss will make war against them. He will overcome them and kill them. And their bodies will be left in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also their Messiah was sacrificed. And they of the peoples, and tribes, and tongues, and nations shall see their dead bodies 3½ days, and will not allow their bodies to be placed into a tomb. And they that dwell upon the earth will rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because the prophets who tormented them are dead.
After 3½ days the Spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon those who saw them. Then the resurrected prophets heard a great voice from heaven saying to them,
Come up here.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud while their enemies watched in astonishment. That same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. The earthquake killed 7,000. The survivors were frightened and gave glory to the Father in heaven. The second woe is past. Behold, the third woe comes quickly. The 7th Malach sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying,
The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Father and his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever.
The 24 elders who sat before Yahweh fell upon their faces and worshipped Yahweh, saying,
We give you thanks, O Father Yahweh Almighty, who is and was, and is to come, because you have taken your great power and have begun to reign. The elite and powerful were angry, and your wrath has come that they should be sentenced, and that you should give reward to your servants and to those who reverence your name, small and great, and should destroy those who destroy the earth.
The kingdom was made open for all to see in heaven, and the ark of Yahweh's covenant was seen in his kingdom. Then there were lightnings, voices, thundering, an earthquake, and great hail. There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun with the moon under her feet, and upon her had a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried out, laboring in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon her heads. And her tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was ready to be delivered in order to devour her son as soon as he was born. She gave birth to a male, a son, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Her son was caught up unto Yahweh and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by Yahweh, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. There was war in heaven. Micaiah and her Malachim fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with her angels, but did not prevail, nor was their place found any more in heaven. The great dragon was cast out, that old serpent Lucifer who deceives the whole world. She was cast out into the earth, and her angels were cast out with her. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven,
Now is come salvation, strength, the kingdom of our Father, and the power of his Messiah, for the accuser of our brothers is cast down, who accused them before our Father day and night. They overcame her by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, heaven, and you who dwell there. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea! For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because she knows that she has but a short time.
Next time on the Revelation. And when the dragon saw that she was cast into the earth, she persecuted the woman which brought forth a man. By the general assembly it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them.
Reverence Yahweh and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come.
The great Babylon is fallen, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Blessed are the dead, the ones dying in the Messiah from now on.
Behold, I am coming as a thief in the night. It is dawn.
Support the Century channel by clicking the like button, subscribing or following, and directly through Patreon with the link listed in the description below.